Hi, everyone. My name is David Kelly. I'm the Program Director for the eLearning Guild, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another Twist Conversation. We're pleased to welcome Robert Gadd from OnPoint Digital, who's going to be our guest today talking about games, gamification, and mobile. Robert, welcome.
Hey David, how are you?
I'm
Glad to be
doing well.
here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. For those who
Absolutely.
happen to may not know you, can you please give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do?
My name is Robert Gadd. When I was born in 1961. No, let's not go back that far. I'm the president and co-founder of a company, OnPoint Digital, based in Savannah, Georgia. We are a provider of online and mobile learning tools and platforms for the enterprise, and have been a big proponent and focused in the area of mobile learning for probably 9 years. So dating way back to the Palm 8s, believe it or not, and through the feature phones, smartphones, tablets, and in today's cool and topical wearables and fancy watches and everything else. If it's mobile, we're thinking about it. That's what we do.
Excellent. And you've also been a big help as part of the advisory group that's helping us build this year's MLearnCon conference and expo. One of the things you're going to be doing at the conference this year is participating in giving one of the featured sessions with Sarah Gilbert, entitled What You Need to Know to Get Started with Mobile Learning. So tell me, why do you think now is the time that people who've been sitting on the sidelines waiting before they make the move to mobile, why is now the time that they should be getting off the fence and thinking about adding mobile to their learning strategy?
Yeah, we would certainly suggest that the train is leaving the station if it's not already left. It's time to figure out a way to get there. It's been interesting just seeing all of the progression over the course of the last 8 or 9 years as people try to contextualize mobile and how it can extend an existing blended learning program or online learning program. Obviously, the trend with more people having a smart device today than ever before, the fact that more people access web content through a mobile device than through a desktop, the fact that we all have multiple devices as part of our lives is really mandating a shift towards organizations to figure out a way to make content available, make information available, provide access to resources, perform performance support, to provide performance support tools, etc. It's happening. So, I think it's taken a long time for the right tools to be in place and for the platforms to support it, but all of those things are really in place today, and now's the time to go.
And one of the things that I think is exciting about the conference this year is that you'll see a lot of examples. Historically, there's a lot of the conversations around mobile have been conceptual, but there'll be a lot more stories and examples that people can learn from. So there's more of this proven path to follow for people who've been sitting on the sidelines, which is going to be a big part of the conference this year.
Yeah, I mean, as part of the program selection committee, we looked at hundreds of entries, right? And many of those practical, implementations that happen in production, as opposed to we're just thinking about this, or we're experimenting a little bit, or we're thinking about doing a pilot. It's moved well beyond that to the point that these implementations are moving to scale. It's not just 5% of the workforce that's doing it, it's 100% of the people are probably candidates to have something delivered to them in a mobile learning context at some point in the near future.
I know another thing that you're going to be doing at the conference, you'll be facilitating a pre-conference workshop on serious games and gamification and how they relate to mobile, doing that with Brian Austin. So without opening the complete Pandora's box, in your mind, what's the difference between serious games and gamification?
That's a great question. And there's really three aspects of this. Gamification is applied game mechanics and dynamics just to make things more engaging, but it's typically something that already existed. In the middle, there's this concept of game-based learning, which is really more templates and courseware that have a game sort of feel, and people move through that. And at the far end of the extreme are the areas of simulation and immersion. So gamification and serious games sort of live in between those three different areas, and mobile kind of focuses on the first two. You can add game mechanics to systems, and you can have game-based learning, and those things can interoperate with one another. And we're getting to the point today that tools are starting to come in place to allow us to participate in simulations and do interesting immersive experiences inside something that can fit on a mobile device or be inside of an app. So our workshop seeks to do a compare and contrast of these things. We sort of going to present it as a spy versus spy, sort of the black hat thing and the white hat thing. Brian's more from the serious world where they spend a lot of time and money creating something, and he thinks I'm more lipstick on a pig kind of thing in gamification, which is, just slapping badges on it. But the reality is it's an interesting mix of all of those things that really drive and deliver engagement and value to an organization.
Yeah, that's great, and I like the aspect of having the two sides. A lot of times people just see one side of the equation, so having both versions of it as part of the same workshop is going to be an interesting experience for people.
And we're going to we plan in this particular workshop to not only impart the knowledge and let people have an understanding of what each of these thirds are and the way you could approach them, but actually have practical exercises along the way, and we'll try to sum the whole thing up and see it all in a stand back whole product view solution in the end. So you get to experiment with tools, get to participate in gamified courseware, you get to see what immersions are all about, and you get to see the simple game mechanics, and do all of that from the tablet or the handset that you have with you for the workshop.
And that's an interesting aspect of it. So when you're thinking about just the concept of games and game-based learning and gamification, you're going to be targeting it specifically within the mobile space. So what are some of the things that I need to be thinking about if I'm going to be looking at using a game-based solution on a mobile device? What are some of the unique aspects of that environment, games on a mobile device, that I need to be thinking about?
Well, it's not always about, especially in the case of the immersion stuff, sitting down and doing a 2-hour simulation where you're moving through branched logic or something like that is, wherein that's possible to do on a tablet device like this, it's not always practical to do. So it's let's divide these things up into little short nuggets of learning or something like that that somebody can consume. We also know that mobile is not just about the consumption of content. It's access to people, it's access to information, it's the ability to capture and curate things yourself. So we'll tie some of that in. It's great that your mobile device gives you the ability to record audio or shoot a picture or something like that, and that can be part of an exercise to contribute, to demonstrate mastery, etc. And all along the way, you could make that part of a game or part of a game-enabled exercise to draw people in and keep them involved, especially when they're out and about. So it's an exciting way to look at things differently because of the affordances that mobile actually deliver for us.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a really, really fun and interesting workshop. If you are interested in learning more about Robert's workshop or the featured session,
with Brian.
Sorry?
With Brian Austin, yes.
Yes, with Brian Austin, thank you. If you want to learn more about the featured session that Robert's going to be doing or the workshop, you can go to our website, mlearncon.com. To learn more about the featured sessions, you can get details on our website there about Robert and Sarah's session, as well as the other featured sessions we have, as well as the pre-con certificate workshops that we have. Robert and Brian's is one of a number of different workshops we have available at the conference this year that can help enhance your overall mobile learning experience and take a deeper dive into some of the topics that we'll be exploring at mLearnCon this year. Robert, I want to thank you for spending some time with us on the Twist conversation today.
It was twisted, David. I loved it.
Well, thanks very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in San Diego this June at mLearnCon.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time on Twist Conversations. Bye-bye.